It's a great day to be a Coyote. Welcome, Coyote Nation, to another episode of Back to Pack Podcast, where we are going to be bringing you all of your favorite games, memories, and of course, discussion with our fellow Coyotes. As a disclaimer, we have no affiliation to the University of South Dakota. This is a podcast ran by fans for fans. The ideas and comments do not represent the university. Our opinions are our own. Be sure to find us on Twitter at BackToPackSD. With that being said, let's jump in. All right, what's going on, guys?
Yes.
Hey, how we
This is
doing?
awesome. Let's go.
This might be one of the most interesting, most exciting shows I've done so far on this.
Absolutely.
How you doing, Aidan?
I'm doing well. I'm excited to be on. Thanks for having me.
Yes.
We landed a big fish.
That's always the goal on this, but no, it feels good. I never want to bother players during the season. You guys are way too locked in on it that don't want to distract from anything, but I tell you what, I feel like it's been a long time in the making to get you on here.
Yeah, for sure.
And then, of course, we got Mitch down there who can't stop smiling from last night's game.
I'm still riding the high from last night. I'll tell you what. That was one of the best basketball games we've seen in a while.
Yeah, it has been. Yeah, we were laughing about that. Great game rolling into this show. We're excited to have you on for sure. So, Jake, I suppose we just jump right into it.
I think so. You know, I could have made this schedule way too long just because. Well, first of all, quarterback's one of the most important positions on the field.
You can say
Everybody's
it.
watching.
You can say it the most.
The most. Well, I don't know. I think the guy we have on next might be just a hair more important because he starts to play. But we'll see on that. But there's always so much that goes into games and everything running through you, Aidan. We could have a lot of fun with it. But, you know, I just want to start with where your thoughts are after the way the season progressed last year.
Yeah, you know, it was obviously a historical year. You know, it was something really special to be a part of. You know, a lot of people have asked, you know, like what's the biggest takeaways, stuff like that. You know, football is football. The game is the game. You love it, but just the brotherhood that we had, it's just, you know, unmatched. I haven't had anything like that in my entire life. And, you know, a lot of those guys, they're gone now, which is tough, and love those guys to death. They're going to be my brothers for life, but really excited for the outlook of the future too. I think that we have a really, really talented and special team coming back, and I think we're going to make another really deep push this year.
Yeah, I want to piggyback off that for a second, Jake. This senior class, Aidan, I know, you know, we've seen your announcement. Obviously, you're coming back, but like the guys that are leaving the program in a much better place than they found it, you know, 4, 5, 6 years ago for some of these guys. Like, what did that class mean to you and to the university?
Yeah, I mean, I think they meant everything. Truthfully, I mean, what was it, 2022, summer of 22? I got here. And, you know, the guys that brought me under their wing right away was that class, you know, and obviously I was a grade below them, but, you know, that, like, I still remember Trav, like, just BSing with me right away, just, you know, making me feel like awesome. One of the guys, like, you know, that's just how it was, you know, and they're going to be really hard to replace. It's the truth. You know, that group was so special in so many different ways. Just aside from football, like I said, just off the field, like we were all so close. So it's definitely going to be tough to replace them, and we're going to miss them for sure.
Yeah, my comments on this, guys, is just like, this is the most fun season that we've had in the D1 era. And, you know, so that class for us as fans really holds a special place in our heart for everything that they've accomplished and given us fans. So, you know, can't say enough good things about them. And I just want to say too, like with these guys, like how joking were they? Like were they? You guys make a lot of jokes? Are you guys serious or what? There's a little bit of both, or
you know, and I don't know how far I should go with this, but I mean, like when it was game time, it's game time. You know what I mean? But I'm a huge believer in, like, we play a game. You know, it's supposed to be fun. So like we were locked in, but I mean, like, you know, one guy that would surprise a lot of people, Carter Bell. He's a pretty silent guy.
Yeah.
The biggest, I probably shouldn't swear, but the biggest just slappy around. Like, just is always just trying to mess with people, always joking. Just a goofball.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's funny.
That whole crew, they were something else.
I'm glad you brought that
Yeah.
up too, just because the joy, right? And that's like we got a
Yeah.
joy out of it, and it was nice to see you guys having fun, and it is a game, you should be having fun. So to see you guys having fun, the fans having fun, I mean, all around it was fantastic.
I think Mitch did a perfect job capturing that fun, not just in Travis's gifts or the linemen in general, but yours hopping down the field, Aidan,
Oh,
throwing your arms in the air.
Yeah, I don't know. No comment. I don't even know what to say about that.
that was actually the first one I made, Jake, because that was against Northern to start the season, and that was in the first game, and so that was the first one I made, which is just chef's kiss. That one is used so much, and I love it.
Yep. I think that's the one we even announced our show on tonight.
There you go. Yeah, that is the one. So
Yeah.
I will say too, one other quick comment to Mitch and to Aidan's comments too is that, I mean, by far the most fun season for the fans. So, that senior class and what the whole team in general did last year was so big, but I think we're going to see that momentum this upcoming year. And I say that because, no joke, literally in January, I've had 6 different people have reached out to me and said, "Hey, when do season tickets go on sale for the Yotes this year?" Like people who have not had season tickets before. "Hey, when do they go on sale? Like, what do I need to do?" And I'm like, "Hey, just wait till the spring game; it'll come around." But that interest level I think interest level in Coyote football has never ever been higher, and that's undisputable. So I'm really excited to see how that momentum carries into next year. It should be a lot of fun.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
All right. But yeah, so one thing I really wanted to do, see if it can work out with you, that NDSU game. First of all, was that the wildest game you've ever been a part of through your entire football career?
For sure. Yeah.
That, honestly, I still have goosebumps the moment I think about that game.
Mm-hmm.
I always had a good feeling that something, had you guys scored before the 2-minute warning to make it a 1-score game, we might have a shot at something. What was going through your mind really in that fourth quarter?
Yeah, I mean, I said this in an earlier interview, but it's hard to say that my mindset changed. I don't think it really changes throughout the game. It's like we have a job to do at the end of the day when we get out there, and I think it was more like, hey, it's crunch time now. Like we got to really, really lock in. We're always locked in, but there's that little extra edge that you have to have. And I just said to the guys, and all the guys agreed, like they're all on the same page, but like, they're like, hey, we have a shot. We can do this. We got to put together a couple drives here. We have pretty much the best defense in the entire country. We know that they can hold their own and get the ball back for us. And what happened, and it was a great day.
Okay. So before we get into it, so I want to do a little play-by-play with you on that last drive, just see if this can work or not. But what were your guys' thoughts when you saw Zeke's kick after to go down 1 score?
That is a very underrated moment in the game that not a lot of people talk about.
Yeah.
I still don't know if I can. I think there is some supernatural forces at work on that play. The ball stopped and didn't go in the end zone was unreal. So kudos to him for that. But
it practically defies the laws of physics, right? Because it lands on like the 1 or 2 foot line and it just bounces straight sideways. Like, how does that even happen?
Yeah, no, that was huge. And like you said, I mean, I think right when that happened, it was like, hey, we got a lot of momentum here. Our defense thrives on that, and clearly, they got the stop they needed, and it was huge for us.
So, could he recreate that kickoff ever again?
I don't know. I really don't know. Yes. I would like to say yes because I know like Zeke's incredibly talented, but again, there's something different with that one for sure.
Yeah. All right, so I'm going to see if I can get this to work. I found the last drive. We can do a quick run through of it. Just give us what's going through on your head or in your head on this play, what you're seeing from this defense, because honestly, I was really impressed with how well you were able to pick them apart. Is it showing properly? Let's see here.
Yep, I can see it.
I'm going to go to full screen there. All right, so this is right after the punt, right away to start. What was NDSU giving you guys that made you feel comfortable going into this drive?
They're a pretty base defense. They don't bring a lot of, exotic pressures. They don't do, they disguise a decent amount, but nothing crazy. And we knew, especially in this type of situation, as many defenses do, that they're probably going to cloud their corners, probably play cover 2 or Tampa 2, a version of that. And they're going to make sure that they're not going to give up anything big over the top. And, clearly, basically the whole drive was dink and dunk until that very last play. So we just had to take advantage. And, we had a minute and 16 seconds left, like it says there. And, we had enough time to really just run our offense.
All right. Yeah, and you're right. The very first play here, you dump it off to Karan. Were you looking downfield first, or was he going to be your first read?
Well, so this specific play, you start to the boundary. With how they're playing it, it's really, you want to, if it's 2 over 2 to the boundary, I'm not 100% sure what the specific concept was. It might have been like a smash or something like that. If it's 2 over 2, you're going to take it. If it's 3 over 2, you're trying to get off of it as fast as you can. Usually with that concept, we'd have him actually running across the field on kind of like a medium cross-ish depth. But with how they're playing, they're playing a lot of Tampa, so they're dropping their mic back. So he's really just mic replacing and, basically peeked to the side, saw the mic just basically fly straight back downfield. I knew he had a big pocket there. So.
Okay. And then, you keep rolling with the dink and dunk. We get Charles Pierre. It almost feels like the exact same play, just with the running back. Is that really what it was? The same concept?
That one was 4 verts. That one's really, obviously
cleared it out.
Yeah, if you got a one-on-one matchup, you're going to take it. But again, in a 2-minute offense, check downs are gold. You got to keep the drive alive somehow. And obviously, Charles found space and got the yards and got the first down.
Especially too with a clear path to the sidelines. He got out of bounds. I know it would have stopped temporarily with the first down, but got out of bounds, which is huge.
Right.
All right. So if I'm not mistaken, the next play is probably the second biggest play of the game. And I think this is Javion down the side.
Yes. Yep. So good.
Saying as this loads, I think I argued right after the game that this was the biggest play maybe this season, actually.
Oh, yes. I didn't realize it was moving slow. I was on the YouTube page. So I just now jumped back over to our screen sharing. But yeah, so you catch Javion down the sideline. Did you know it was a catch right away to start?
To be honest, I feel like it. I thought it. I really thought that I could see his foot down, and then watching it on TV, it looks so much more like it does not look like he caught it, But in my head, I'm like, yeah, I really think he caught it. And sure enough, he made an insane play to get that toe down. So,
shout out Midco crew for this one, Jake.
Seriously,
guys, they had a great angle on this one because it was originally ruled out of bounds. Both refs waved their arms there to signal out. And what a shot they got there.
Yes, this definitely saved that play.
Yes, it did.
How much of a factor do the coaches on the sideline have on the refs when they're waving a catch out of bounds like that?
I have no clue. I really don't know.
You can see, if you watch that closely back, you can see some USD fans in those front couple rows signaling catch.
Yeah.
I tell you what, I'm on the opposite side. I'm over on the west side. I knew it was a catch right away. I was waving the arms in there. All right, so I need to jump back to your guys' screen to see how it goes.
Actually, Jake, I think it runs better when you have it on the YouTube, when you're on the YouTube.
Okay. So,
for whatever
reason. We even get a replay.
There's that shot. That's so good.
There it is.
Now,
what a catch.
How much momentum is this going to carry over next season for Javion?
Oh, yeah, an insane amount. He did the same thing 2 seasons ago. He really emerged at the end of the season, and I think it carries him over to the next. And, obviously losing some guys, and he's got a lot of experience under his belt. He's going to be one of our main guys, plain and simple, and I think it's going to be huge for him.
Honestly, yeah, he's clutch for you in the late game situation. Because if I'm not mistaken, you hit him on a corner route against Youngstown to get us in the field goal position to win that game 2 years ago. Is that correct?
No, I don't think so. But he had a couple of plays that game though, for sure.
Yeah. Well, that game was just wild. And
that one was wild.
That was a fun one.
All right, and yeah, as you can see, shameless plug for Matt highlights too here. I go to that for all games within 25 minutes. Now, this play, they got you pretty good, if I'm not mistaken. Okay.
Next one.
Next one. So we'll get to that one.
All reliable right there, Carter Bell.
Yep, Carter Bell. Oh, so it actually took away. It doesn't show the sack there, but that sack was huge. Did you guys ever think about spiking it?
I think there might have been a chance, like a time, or obviously if we would have gained yards, but I think at that point, we lost yards. We're just trying to get back up to the line, and maybe, for example, on this last play here, if they drop out and cover it properly, and I got to check it down or something like that, then yeah, we spike it then. But I think we're just trying to get a play ran as soon as possible and try and get those yards back as quick as we could.
Okay,
Ooh, I have a question here. Did you have another play called, or is this called on the fly after the sack?
No, this is called all of our 2 minutes are signaled in. So technically, we don't ever have the next play called.
Okay, so this wasn't script. None of this was scripted in this final minute and change here.
No.
Okay,
that was a great question.
Yeah.
All right, so this is probably, I'd call your most NFL throw in the pocket, at least. The way you stepped up as they closed in around you was absolutely insane.
sorry, I was laughing at 14. He
Yes, I know. You're
kills
laughing
himself
at
on that
it.
play. Oh man. No, I agree. I agree, Jake. Keep going.
No, it's just, sorry, I kind of got lost in the moment of rewatching it again. The
I
goosebumps
hear
came
you.
back. I have it on mute, and I know exactly what's going on in this. I watched it too many times.
I say, Aidan,
No,
I think the question you've probably answered before, but were you as shocked to see him open as everyone else was in that moment, or what were your thoughts when you saw that?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely was a little bit of a shock. I mean, they're playing cover 3, and that divider just got a little bit nosy to Jack in the seam there. So once I saw it, I threw it, and I mean, the moment didn't hit me for probably till I got to the sidelines. But I do remember just watching the ball in the air, and it kind of just felt like time slowed down for a little bit. For sure, it was definitely kind of. I was like, oh geez, he is wide open. Oh my gosh, he might score. And then I kind of just walked off to the sidelines, and I was like, all right, yeah, cool. And then all of a sudden, it just like hit me, and then I just started freaking out.
So to that point, like Aidan is the coolest cucumber back there. Like this dude shows no emotion, like nothing phases him. It's really, dude, I'm serious. Like I've never seen anybody quite like that, where you're just boom, boom, boom. Just doesn't matter what happens. Just next play, just keep on going.
That's how you got to be.
So I do have to chuckle. Your buddy from Iowa State comes in on that at the end of that highlight, Tristan.
Yep.
He is actually my wife's favorite player because of his trash talk that he has on the field. Not so much the plays and whatnot, but it's his trash talking. Well, we met Matt Walsh at the end of one game, and she was asking if Tristan was coming up. And he was telling us some stories. He speaks with a Canadian accent, says he's from Canada, which not most people recognize. Now, I struggle when he's celebrating there because I'm realizing he's saying it all very Canadian-like. Hey, you did it, bud. You caught the touchdown.
I will correct it. I will correct that. Though. Okay. He is French Canadian, so it's a thick French accent.
Yes.
Yes.
That's right.
So I actually, and obviously, like you said, he came from Iowa State. So I lived with him for, let me think, a year and a half. It was, and it was cool at first, and then it starts getting in your head a little bit once you get like that. Love him to death. One of my good buddies, but man, he's a lot. And you think the trash talk is only on the field? It's not. It's all the time.
Anybody who walks by is just hitting them.
Yep.
He does a fantastic job trash talking. I think the team's going to miss that next year.
Yeah, he had an edge.
All right, but
awesome.
That game was absolute blast. What was it like on the field when after he scored, you're taking in the crowd? Was that? I mean, obviously it was the loudest, but how would you rate that on loudness scale in the dome?
Yeah, I think the loudest by far. I mean, and like Grant was saying earlier with the people asking about season tickets already, just in my 3 seasons here now, to see how much it's escalated and how many fans are coming to games and how loud that place is, like it's second to none, and there obviously there's places around the country that are getting 20, 25,000 fans, but for us, scratching 10,000 and rocking the place like we do, it's a special thing. So I mean, it was awesome.
Yeah,
That's sweet. Hey, Jake, let's go to the comments for a second, if you would. We got some comments
I was
rolling
gonna
in
tell
here.
I was gonna tell Ray to chill on that. That one's coming here in a little bit. We'll talk about that one first. But yeah, of
Hey,
course we got Ray.
And then, sorry, one
ahead,
comment
Jake.
before we move on from the NDSU game. I did want to mention, so ESPN just published a top 100 college football games of the year, I think either yesterday or the day prior, and the USD NDSU game made the list. I think it was listed as like the number 59 or something like that. So not very many FCS games made that list because it encompassed the whole college season. So that was really cool to see that game on that list too.
Yeah.
All right. So yes, Ray is definitely looking ahead to your guys' first game of the season. But I mean, you got some fans. We got Yote Fan, our most loyal follower here. He's always in every show with us. But I tell you what, really, when it comes down to you guys and your seniors, you've changed something in the fan base. We can see that, and people are getting behind you. It might not bring the dome completely full, but you guys are getting more passionate fans to walk through the door now.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure.
All right.
And yeah, there you go. Alex's lemonade stand. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yes. I tell you, that was a blast. So are we going to get a repeat?
We need to. That's right.
Okay.
We're gonna
because we need to get the trophy back down south.
Oh, we'll get it. We'll get it.
We're gonna have to sell some more Jelliot shots. Tailgate.
Yes.
We're going for multiple trophies in 25.
That's right.
Yep. We want it all.
At least 3. Well, we'll have to work together. We'll have to figure out some stuff before the season starts, how we can help you out. Because if I'm not mistaken, the record was set at 30,000 this year.
Mm-hmm.
Is that correct?
Yep.
We gonna be able to beat that?
Oh yeah.
I don't care if it's 30,001, but we need that record.
We'll get it. We'll get it. I got a good feeling.
I love it.
Perfect. Well, we'll keep moving on. You know, I want to touch a little bit just on the Montana State game. And it's more, what was it like to experience that environment that they brought to it?
Yeah, I mean, it was unbelievable. They have an extremely passionate fan base out there. Kudos to them, and it was completely sold out. And I obviously was at a Power 5 school before this, and had been to some of those historical places, but I still don't know if those were as loud as that place. So they did a good job. They were passionate for sure. Yeah, it was a cool place to play for sure.
Now, I'm hoping a lot of fans, because we had a lot of Coyote fans there watching you. I'm hoping they gain some experience from that game to see how to treat our games now. But what experience did you guys gain from that?
Yeah, I mean, unrelated to like the fans, I mean, just being in that moment and now having that chip on our shoulder, and that's cliche, but it's the truth. Like to have the special season we had and end it with that sour taste. I know for a fact that all those seniors you talk about, if they had the opportunity that I'm blessed to have to come back this year, that they'd do it in a heartbeat because, it's you don't want to say the season was for nothing because like you guys said, it was historical and something really special. But the competitors that we are, you know what I mean? It's hard to not think about that. So I think it's a really big learning experience for this team coming back. I mean, a good majority of the guys experienced it, and they have that taste in their mouth, and that's what we're using to fuel us every single day.
Yeah, and I mean, if you think about the trajectory of this team, guys, from a fan's perspective, and I'll talk about the 22 season and how that went and how it ended, but like the arrow is almost straight up at this point, the last 2 years. And so I think that's where everybody's just real excited and everyone, players, fans, coaches, everybody involved is riding this high.
All right. And then real quick, I do want to just cut in for any of the folks that are watching live. If we're on a topic that you have a question about, feel free to share it in the chat. I know it'd be pretty cool to get an opportunity to ask questions on here. So please hit up the chat on this. But I want to flip it over now to you returning for your one last season here after the Montana State game. You gave all the Coyote fans. We're going to jump into this question real quick that popped in. How did you feel about the altitude in Bozeman? Did it cause problems?
I think it was I wouldn't say it caused problems, but there, I mean, like it was a factor slightly, you know what I mean? I wouldn't say it was life or death. You know, we didn't play our best game. Plain and simple. I'm never going to use an excuse like that. And I'm not saying it is an excuse, but there are some guys that were feeling it for sure. It's definitely different, you know. So that
Jake
was
Galbraith.
yeah,
He was on here. He was on our show last week saying he puked 4 or 5 times on the side.
Yeah. I think it was maybe, which is ironic because the kid's from Colorado. He's used.
That's what we were thinking.
That's right. That's what we razzed him about.
From Denver, he's like, oh, it's not that much different. But I'm like, well,
yeah, I think it was person by person, but there's definitely a factor there.
Now, I do want to ask, just to go with this, you guys got out there on Friday, correct?
Correct. Yep.
Do you wish you got out there a little earlier just to have a little more adjustment, or was that not a possibility?
I'm not sure the logistics if it was possible or not. But I mean, yeah, sure. Getting to a place early and feeling it out is always going to be, you know, a benefactor. It's always going to help, you know. So I think it could have helped, but at the end of the day, we had to do what we had to do.
Yep.
So
right.
hey, you asked him
ahead.
the experience that they got from just the season and having to go out there. And I'm going to quote Coach Nielsen on this. He said in one of his postseason pressers was that we just need to find a way to win 1 or 2 more games so we don't have to travel anywhere in the playoffs. we just host the whole way through, and then it doesn't matter.
Yep.
I love that strategy.
Yeah.
You know what? And I will put this out there as a guarantee for you, Aidan. You guys get home field all the way through. We'll make sure you get home field all the way through.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get it rocking.
Oh yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I believe it.
Grant will even take his shirt off.
Sure, why not?
Yeah.
behind their the opponents will definitely get them stirred up. All right, now flipping it to next season and really more hitting on the return. I do want to ask, what was the biggest factor that sparked that passion to want to return to USD?
Yeah, I think just going back to the Montana State game, and like I was just saying, just that sour taste in my mouth, just being an extreme competitor that really just kept eating at me, and well, obviously, I think we'll probably get to it in a little bit, talk about my wife a little bit, but it was at like all 4 family Christmases, and literally all I could think about at each of them was like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? What am I going to do? And I was trying to enjoy my time with the family, but it's just, it was constantly on my mind. And, at the end of the day, it's, college only lasts so long. And so many guys that have spoken in front of us said that these are some of the best days of their life with their brothers. And, I had the opportunity to play an extra year, and so I was like, well, I'm going to use it, and right as I made the decision, it was almost just like a big weight lifted off my shoulders. I'm like, okay, I can do it again. Thank goodness,
Mm-hmm. All right, and actually, funny enough that you mentioned your wife, because that was the next question. What was the conversations like with her? Because I know she was your number one person that you had to convince on this. Yeah,
and she's always been, one of my biggest supporters by far. So I don't know if it was me worried about her or more so, or I don't know how I should say this, but I was more worried. I don't know. I don't even know how to explain it, but I was worried she was going to be mad at me. That's the biggest thing.
Okay.
I was just going to say, as a married man, you better be very careful how you say this.
Learn to choose your words.
Just got to choose those words wisely.
And also, we're all husbands here, so we know exactly what you're trying to say without saying it. So you're good.
Yeah. No, and she was great. She's got a little bit of time until dental school, and it ended up all working out. Hopefully, going to get her a spot here to work soon. And that was the biggest thing, is that we were both just happy. I mean, we've been freaking long distance for basically our entire relationship. We were in high school together. That was really the only time that we were together. But other than that, it's been college in different spots and all that. So
that's impressive, by the way, because that's not easy at all.
It was tough. It was tough for sure, but I think it made us stronger for sure.
Wow.
Yeah, I couldn't even imagine. I was honestly tough to date in college while they were there, but as a full-time athlete and in a different state, that's unbelievable.
Yeah.
All kudos to her, though. She's the one making it work.
That's nice.
Man.
So with your decision to come back, did you talk to many coaches about it, or was this just between you guys?
Yeah, I mean, obviously I had to talk to some coaches and kind of get a gauge on things, but ultimately, it was me and my family making a decision. And, once I got the okay that it was going to work out, I just went for it, plain and simple.
Yeah. I will say I'm looking forward to some more gel shots with Todd. So
I'm sure he is too.
For a good cause.
It's always for a good.
It's for the kids.
So.
It's for the kids.
Yep.
Right. So my grandpa's already sneaking into the chat. He's trying to jump us into our next topic, and it is going to be actually about the coach's change. I apologize. He's fat fingered your name. He knows it's Aidan. It's not Adam. But I do want to ask, the Coach Davis move. Not so much, of what was going on behind the scenes with that, but what did he mean to you as a coach?
Yeah, he was unbelievable. I haven't been around, a lot of people that are as cerebral as him. Like, his understanding of the game was really second to none, and obviously it showed in the past 2 seasons how much better our offense got. And he was a great person too. Outside of football, had a great relationship. And I think he was definitely just a huge part of our success in these past 2 seasons. So I owe a lot to him for sure.
Yeah. How much longer until he's a head coach?
I wouldn't say very long. I think he's got everything it takes. So hopefully soon.
Yeah.
All right. So go ahead, Mitch. Did you have something?
I was just thinking of that, how meaningful it was to us, our program, our team. I was going to say too, you got a new quarterback coach, and then new offensive coordinator, Coach Mo. So a lot of changes there on your side of the ball. Just kind of general thoughts on that.
Yeah, I'm excited. It's especially when a big coaching change and multiple changes happen like they have. It's not very often that you get to keep the same coaches really, and you just kind of cycle them around a little bit. So I already have great relationships with them. I'm really excited. I know that, Coach Mo has had really great success in everywhere he's been as an OC. And Coach Vitzum is going to be, awesome. He played quarterback. He understands, how to play the position and how to see the field. So that's going to be another huge help for us.
Yeah. And both those guys have play calling experience too. So I'm really excited to see what they cook up. What they keep the same, what they add some new, that kind of stuff too. So, looking forward to it. A lot of things, even though we have a lot returning in terms of players, so have a lot of new things to look forward to for 2025.
And I will, Aidan, I'll toot your horn a little bit here too, but those guys are also lucky to have the best returning quarterback in FCS football back for them as well. So I'm sure they appreciate that. Is that not bringing in somebody new to a system that hasn't been in it, right? Like, there's a lot of big advantages to, like you said, shuffling personnel around, but this is not like a, wiping a whiteboard clean type situation, which is great, because that's not always the case for a lot of programs. So definitely fortunate for that.
Right.
Yeah, I just want to say too, on that note, talking about Aidan himself, 68, almost 69% completion percentage. We kept saying all year, every week, we're having these pregame and postgame shows. Like, how efficient is he? Like, this is unbelievable. Just super efficient. Not turning the ball over. Only had a couple turnovers on the year, and every game I think he had at least a couple, 1 or 2 touchdowns. I know he had three touchdown passes in 2 different games this year, but we just kept saying, how efficient is he? Not turning the ball over, making good decisions, that kind of thing. So we sounded like a broken record, but it's true, and that's a big part of why we were the team we were last year. And so I'm looking forward to that, especially knowing you have a lot of those big O linemen coming back as well. So. I think they really kept you clean this year compared to some previous years, and in the bigger games against the SDSUs and the NDSUs, where we've seen you take some big hits, including getting knocked out of that playoff game, 2 years ago. So I as a fan, I'm looking for those kind of things too. That's one thing I noticed this year.
All right, so we definitely got somebody to pump you up for next season a little bit, Aidan here. Their question is, how does it feel to be the top-rated quarterback in all of Division I on PFF level?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely cool, but media and news and rankings and all that, I mean, they are what they are. Yeah, I'm giving the professional answer, but it's also exactly how I feel. Like it's it's cool, but at the end of the day, it's what do we go out and do next season? It's what do we go out and do on the field next season? How far can we go? That's really all I'm focused on.
I'm not going to answer it for you, Aidan, but it kind of feels like you'd be the guy that say, if it meant winning, I'd throw 5 picks just so we could win.
Yeah.
I don't know how that helps you win, but
no, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that, but I would if I had to.
Yeah,
right. Exactly.
Well, I will say too, Aidan, you made a good point that really it's again comes back to what you and the team the last couple of years has kind of set a new standard. So to your point, it's like, yes, the accolades and the rankings and all that is great, but really resetting the mindset for Coyote football and saying, hey, like we are a contender, we're a national championship contender, that this is the new standard. So I'm looking forward to that. I think, we've talked about it here at length, but it's just so exciting. And, to see that standard be upheld, starting with you kind of leading by example, it's fantastic. So.
All right, so we're going to move on to next season. I was going to ask you about prepping going into it, but I also know your time's important. So I just have one question about prepping for next season, and it comes really on the transfer market side of things. Do you have much help, or do you help much with the coaches when it comes to the transfer portal and recruiting?
I mean, I'm not saying, hey, we need to pick up this guy, or hey, let's look at this guy together. But, if we're bringing in guys for visits, I'm trying to be there as much as I can and trying to make those guys feel at home right away. Because, obviously if we're bringing them in, they can be a big help to our program. So trying to do everything I can to get the right guys here.
I was going to say, I've noticed a huge uptick in coaching on media. On the social media side of things, seems to be a lot more tweets coming out about players visiting or coaches going to visit players as well. Do feel like that's been refreshing to see. Yeah. But we'll jump into next season now. And I mean, Ray jumped the gun on this one, but we're going to bring it back. How does it feel? Final season, you're going back to where it all started.
Time is a circle.
Yeah, no,
that's what it is, man.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool for sure. When I first got here, you're just looking at the schedule, and I saw it, a ways out. So I always knew it was a possibility. It's definitely gonna be really cool. Still got a couple of good buddies. One of their starting left tackle next year was an usher in my wedding. So I got a couple of guys there. That's awesome. It'll be cool to see them. It's a special place to play. I'm excited to be on that field and playing. And I know the guys, in our locker room are really excited too.
Is Karan pretty amped up about it too?
Oh yeah, I haven't got a chance to talk to him a lot about it, but I'm sure he's fired up.
Just chuck it up. Karan's down there somewhere.
Right?
That's all you gotta do. Wait, speaking of that, we got to give you some crap for this. There's a couple throws this season where he outran you.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Like he had to come back. There's a couple of deep touchdowns that he turned them into touchdowns, but he had to come back, stop, catch the ball, and then race the defender to the end zone.
You think I don't know? You think if I underthrow a throw or miss a throw, that's all I can think about. So yeah, you're just saying the same things I've told myself.
Seriously,
salt the wounds over here.
That dude is so fast. I mean, I think a lot of quarterbacks would have a hard time hitting him in stride.
He's unreal.
See, funny enough, Mitch brings that up and gives you a hard time for underthrowing him. I'm impressed because in the Northern State game, you overthrew him.
Yep.
That's more impressive, in my opinion.
That's first game of the season. He was juiced. Aidan was juiced up. I think that was early in the game too, if I remember right.
Yep. Too much adrenaline. Just had to let it loose.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny. One thing before you move on from the Ames game, I will say, and Aidan, I'm not going to put you on the spot because I'm not going to give any bulletin board material. But when we talk about the FCS versus FBS games, in my mind, a lot of teams at the FBS level really look at that as a automatic win type game, right? It's a money game. And every once in a while, the time, they schedule them so far out ahead of time that you really don't know what that game's going to look like. This feels like one of those games where it's going to be an ultra competitive game that Iowa State probably didn't think they're going to get what they signed up for back 3-4 whatever years ago that it was. So I know the fans are looking forward to it. There's going to be a ton of USD fans in Ames.
Yes.
It's going to be this might be like one of the most traveled games too that I've been, and I've done a lot of the away games. So it's going to be a blast, but I'm just going to put that out there now that Iowa State is going to have a lot more than they bargained for when they put that on the docket 4 years ago. We'll just say that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They were thinking easy win and not anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And then Aidan wants to change it up. Have you looked at their schedule, Aidan?
For next season?
Yeah.
I have not, no.
So they open up the week before you guys in Ireland against Kansas State.
That's Farmageddon. That's a big game, and it's overseas.
Ireland, yeah.
And then, do you know who's after you guys for them?
Who's that?
Iowa.
Sandwich game. I like that. I like where we're at.
Yep.
It's just something for the fans to keep an eye on.
That's
right. Just something to chew on this winter and summer. That's all.
That's right.
So, I just got one last question for you on next season. I know everybody here watching definitely knows what the goal is next year. Championships. It's really all you guys are focused on. I want to ask, what does it take for you guys to obtain those goals?
I think, one of the biggest things we're striving for this offseason is just, maturity and discipline, especially with that senior class leaving. We need to have a lot of young guys step up. Like I said, we have a lot of guys returning, though, that were in that situation and experienced that semifinal last year. They understand what it takes to win. They've seen, the guys ahead of him that have shown how to win. So I think everyone has the tools, everyone has the talent, the skills. We all, we're always 110% effort, but it's the little things, just honing in on every single thing, whether it's, you're at workouts and your foot's behind the line every single time, because, say you don't do that, well then come fall, that's a false start on a third down that kills your drive. It's just all those little things add up. So just continuing to hone in on those, I think, is going to be really key for us.
That's awesome.
All right. So I think it's time to change it up. Are you tired of answering all these questions about as a quarterback?
No,
not just from us, but I feel like you went through a ton of interviews since announcing you're coming back.
Yeah.
A couple.
Yeah. Nobody asks about Aidan. Everybody asks, where's Aidan? Nobody asks, how's Aidan?
Right. Exactly.
All right. So we're going to just do this section. We're going to do about Aidan. Let's get to know you as a person. The one I always like to start off with is, you get some free time. You got a day off from school and football. What are some hobbies you like to do to fill your time?
Well, if it's not the time of year that it is right now, I would be on the golf course as much as I could. Huge golfer. Love it. I mean, I love football more than anything, don't get me wrong, but if there's another sport that I could do, it would be golf. 110%. Like, that's just, I love it. So that would be a big one for sure. Never really been big into like hunting or anything like that. I'll dabble in some video games here and there. It sounds like I have no life, but I'm at the facility right now so much, as much as I can, because especially with my wife not down here yet, and I had so many buddies leaving. I'm close with a lot of guys. Like, I'll hang out with a bunch of guys. We'll play some pickup and stuff like that. But I'm kind of down on the edge of town right now too. I'm not in the Heights anymore, so I'm by myself right now. So I'm just like, I'm in the facility, just hanging out with the guys as much as I can.
Okay.
Honestly, that's probably kept you out of trouble all these years, is just hanging around the facility in the gym,
I think it's a long distance.
Keep you on the straight and narrow.
All right. So I do want to ask, what is it with quarterbacks in golf? There's something about that.
I couldn't tell you. It's funny you say that. I definitely think it's a real thing. I mean, all the quarterbacks that I've been around are all pretty decent golfers. I mean, I started golfing because of my dad. He golfs all the time, and obviously he was a quarterback. I think that's the biggest reason I think I still am so passionate about golf, is because I still have never beat him. Pisses me off. He's ridiculous. don't know. I don't know if he might be like a 1 or a 2 now, but he was like a plus handicap probably 10 years back. So he's ridiculous. And that's my main goal in golf is to finally beat him one day. Then I can maybe put the clubs down for a little bit.
Okay.
That's awesome.
Well, from what I've gathered in other interviews, it sounds like you need Schimmel and Johansson to take you golfing this spring, because those guys sound like they're golfers as well. So
yes. That's awesome.
All right. So I do want to touch on your wife as well, obviously being long distance. It's not often that you run into many people that are engaged in college. I felt like I was kind of in a bubble myself because I was the only friend I knew that was engaged while in college. You're full blown married. You'll celebrate your 1-year anniversary before you finish school.
Mm-hmm.
What's it like to be in college and be married?
I mean, it's awesome. I love it. I think the biggest thing for us was like, I mean, we know that we want to be together forever. Really, what's the point in waiting, you know? And and we knew we were going to be living together sooner or later. And like I said, it's coming up here really soon. It was that last summer was, you know, when it happened, and just, you know, that whole you know, time period leading up to that was still just some of the best moments of my life. Wouldn't trade it for anything. So beyond blessed that, you know, first of all, that she said yes, but, you know, second of all, that we're together and here we are. So
that's awesome.
All right. So since she's going to be there, Jake and Grant, for this football season, I'm expecting over 3,000 passing yards this season, and maybe cut
regular season.
Yeah. Oh, regular season.
Yeah.
And cut those 4 interceptions down to about 2.
there you go.
And tag on a couple more touchdown passes while we're at it. So
Mitch is getting after you tonight.
Hey, if you guys remember, we had Tyson on before the season started. I spoke his 1,000 yards into existence. So I'm just saying.
There you go. Just got to put it out there.
Yeah, you got to put it out there, man. Good karma for next year.
Right.
Okay, but Tice had to skate by. He cut it very close.
He did. But hey, he missed a game or two, so.
Yep. Right.
Yep. Exactly. All right. So the last question, and I feel like this is tradition at this point on any back-to-pack interview: go-to restaurant in Vermilion.
My go-to for a long time has been Brick House. I feel like they have a lot of variety. They do a really good job. I also don't think you can beat Leo's Wings. They're next level, unreal.
Oh, yeah.
Trying to think what else. Bunions is always good. It's always, you know, I do love Bunions. I mean, I'm naming just like every restaurant at this point. Right?
Yeah.
But if I have to keep it to one, Brick House would be my number one.
Okay. That's Vermilion for you, though. I miss the food so much.
Yeah.
Did you ever get a chance to try our pizza?
So when I got here, I think I had it one singular time, and then they closed. So that, and I heard so many good things about it. So I was a little sad about that one.
Man,
Yeah,
that was the place to be after we closed down Char Bar. You guys.
That is funny you say that, though, because Vermilion is one of those towns that has a sneaky good like food scene for such a small town. So it's I grew up in Vermilion, so I may be a little biased, but
Townie,
you're spot on. There's a lot of good. Yeah, I'm a townie, so there's a lot of good spots. Even after I moved to Sioux Falls, I'm like, man, I kind of miss Silk Road, or I kind of miss some of those places, right?
We were talking about Wimps with JJ. He was all about Wimps.
That's
man.
right. Yeah.
Wimps. See, I've never been to Wimps.
What?
I know that's the one crazy one, because I mean technically it's not in Verm, but like it's only 5 minutes away. So why the hell have I not gone? You know, I got to go.
Well, and if you're going golfing, you know, you're halfway there. So
right, exactly.
That's right. That is true.
You're a college student, you got hip all you can eat spaghetti on Wednesday.
All you can eat spaghetti night. Yep. Wednesday, is it Wednesdays or Thursdays? One of those.
I thought it was Wednesdays, but it's been so long since I've been down as a college student in Vermilion.
We're old.
That's right. Add it to the 2025 goal sheet. Get to Wimps. It's an easy one to cross off.
Yeah.
There you go.
All right. So that is all we have on the questions side of things. And one thing I do want to give you an opportunity for, if you're up for it, is to give you the platform if you have any messages for Coyote Nation that you'd want to get out there, this is your opportunity. If not, totally understand.
I mean, I think I'll say two things. The first thing, like we've referenced a couple times now, the fans have meant so much to us, and we try to make that known, and we try and say it as much as we can. But we can't say it enough. Just like I said, the trajectory of just what it's been to what it's become. It's unreal. We appreciate every single person that comes out, and it makes a huge difference when you guys are rocking that place. So I'll just again say thank you on behalf of the entire team. Like it's been awesome to see. I guess just a tidbit for next year is just be ready. We're coming back with a vengeance. People can say what they want about last season. Again, it was special. It was historical, but let's make some more history, plain and simple. I believe in every single guy in this program. I know everyone else believes in each other, and it's going to be a really special season again.
Perfect.
Love that.
Love it.
Say if that doesn't get you fired up, Coyote Nation, I don't know what will. So, Mitch, I don't know if you've got the countdown still going, but however many days till football season, can't get here soon enough.
Man, I need to pull that back up. Actually, thanks for reminding me. I'm just excited as you guys are. I think it's this team. I mean, Aidan, this is personally from me. I mean, last year was the first year I had season tickets. I used to go to a couple games here and there, but I was all in last year and can't wait to do it again. And I know there's a bunch of fans like me that are going to do the same. So I just want to say thank you, to you, to the team, to the coaches, to Coach Bob Nielsen, everybody.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
Yeah. I want to add to that too. I know it was a sour, bitter ending for you guys in Montana State. Just know every Coyote fan I've talked to, we know not to count it as a finish line, but we truly appreciate what you guys have done, where you took us. We know it's not the end goal, but what you've already done and accomplished means so much to the fan base. I've seen so much more Coyote gear walking around Sioux Falls randomly. It's all on you guys. We appreciate everything. We can see the passion that you guys have, and it means a lot.
Yeah, thank you.
All right,
Grant,
perfect.
Grant, you're the last one.
Yeah, Grant, you gotta go on it.
Give us the final words.
I was gonna say, no, I will. Like I said, I'm looking forward to it. I've mentioned on the show before, Aidan, I've been a Coyote fan for a very, very long time. So me and my family moved to Vermilion in 2000 when I was in grade school. So we were going to the Dome when it blew up as an inflatable Division II era. So and so all the way back to that, last year was by far the most fun football season of all time. So that's gives you. I know a lot of other townies, quote unquote, would say the same things, but no, it's been great. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm glad that it's just kind of the beginning here, because 2025 is going to be a ton of fun. So Appreciate what you're doing. It's going to be fun.
Thank you.
All right. I feel like that's a perfect way to end it. So, Aidan, thank you again for your time. We know we got a lot going on, so we appreciate you spending it with us. And I know the Coyote fans following along enjoyed it too. With that being said, go Yotes.
Go Yotes, baby.
Go Yotes.
Go Yotes.